That Don't Sound Right is a podcast about talking the way we did before the internet, when you could not prove anyone right or wrong.
All the expertise was contained in the people involved with the conversation. I'm Peter.
I'm Cecil, and I hope you enjoy our conversations. And as you listen, if you find yourself silently saying, that don't sound right, send us a comment. You're one of us.
I'm stunned. I'm stunned.
Yeah. So
I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Welcome back to another episode of That Don't Sound Right, a podcast about talking. We're your co-hosts. I'm Peter Billin.
And I'm Cecil Davis.
And we're just trying to have a conversation without Googling or fact-checking things online. Because sometimes you hear some things that are off the wall, and you may not believe it, but sometimes you just got to work it out and see if you can convince the other person that what you heard was accurate.
And you know what doesn't sound accurate and doesn't sound right, but we're almost to 20,000 downloads.
No, my gracious.
We're like 400 downloads away from 20,000 downloads.
How many? 400?
400.
Oh, we should get that in at least another 10 weeks.
That means if 400 people, if you go get 400 people for us, we can have it by next week.
Hey, if each listener would get 4 friends, we'll do it.
So I've got an interview that I recorded last weekend that I'm getting ready to play for you, and then I'm going to have you react to it.
All right. Let's
so
try
it's about a business, a side hustle that my nephew's wife is doing in Eastern North Carolina. That's really taken off, like in a big way. Like significant, not like, like side hustles usually hundreds of dollars, right?
Okay, yeah.
This is significant money.
All right. Unlike our side hustle.
Unlike our side hustle that's in the negative,
it's like
cash-wise.
Negative hundreds.
Yeah, she's done really well with this.
All right.
But when you first hear it, I think you're going to react to it.
Okay, all right. I'm all in.
All right, so we're going to go to the interview right now. And then we'll come back and we'll get Peter's reaction.
Are you going to do some cool fade in and fade out music?
I don't think I'm that as advanced as a sound engineer. So, all right, Peter, here's the interview. All right, I am sitting here today on Bryce's Creek, beautiful Bryce's Creek, with Taylor Roberson to talk about something that is a great idea, but it might be a little unusual when you first hear it, because you've gotten a lot of questions about it. But anyways, Taylor, say hey.
Hey!
So if you hear things in the background, those are jet skis, which I've decided are the leaf blowers of the river. All right, so Taylor, you told me that you found out about something that's happening probably in the West right now.
Yes.
And a friend of yours told you about it.
She did. So my friend Lauren, we've been best friends since I was in 3rd grade. She's in the Air Force now, but she's stationed in Texas. And she was telling me, look, Taylor, you got to hear about this. And it's permanent jury. It's really neat, and then nobody really around here does it yet. There's only a few people.
Permanent jewelry.
Yes, permanent jury.
So what does that mean?
Okay, so I have all types of chains. I have gold field, and I have sterling silver. And you pick out any chain you want, and I actually weld it together and weld it on you.
With a real welder?
Yeah, actually. Mm-hmm.
That was a smaller version.
It's a smaller one, yeah, for sure. It's more of a solder versus welder, but everybody calls it welder.
A welder. But it's the welder itself. I'll get a picture of it, hopefully.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll put it up on the website. But it's we're not talking about a little solder gun that costs $39 at Walmart, right?
No, it was definitely an investment for sure to set up everything. And it's
the
still
real
an
deal.
investment. Getting all the chains and stuff.
Yeah, but the machine itself is like significant investment.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So this wasn't just something you did on a whim.
No, absolutely not. I did so much research on TikTok and all the things, and there's a few people around that do it, but I mean, within like maybe a 200-mile radius, maybe 3.
So just to make sure everybody, our listeners understand, so this means that once you pick your necklace out,
yes,
it is permanently soldered, welded shut.
Yes,
safely.
Yes.
So you're not taking it on and off.
You're not. No, you're not. So it, like I said, sterling silver and gold field. So it will not tarnish, will not change.
Right.
I mean, we've been in the river with it, or this creek with it all weekend this weekend.
Bryce's Creek.
And, yeah, no, it's great. You literally don't take it off.
So what's the appeal? Because this is kind of hit big, right?
It has. It's huge. I would say mainly for people who want like a statement piece, like a necklace, or just something every day that you can wear that you don't have to put on and off.
Right.
And I've had a lot of actually older folks who can't clasp anymore.
It's okay. I'm an older folk, so
You're
you can
not
say
older. Oh my gosh, you're not.
you can say older folks
No.
on the podcast. Peter's an older folk too. So.
No, so they can't clasp the actual clasp.
Oh yeah.
Like people with arthritis or whatever,
Right.
and
but they still want to wear something.
Exactly, and then they just keep it on all the time.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yes, I've had right many folks do that.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
It's neat. It is.
All right, so but now again, this has actually turned out to be a thing for you. I mean, it we're not talking about just 10 or 15 people. This has been a lot of people.
It's been insane.
There goes
there's
one
a
of
jet
the
ski.
one of the leaf blowers of the river going by.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and it's been fun because I have two boys. Obviously,
What? No.
What? Like who? Yeah, no.
I thought you had 3 when I pulled up the other
I
day.
know. Pulled up, grabbed a random kid.
Yeah.
No, but I have two boys, so it's fun for me to do stuff that's girly because I don't.
Oh right,
have
right.
Girls,
Yeah.
and I get to do girls' birthday parties, all the thing, and it's I just love it.
So I do anklets, bracelets, necklaces.
And rings.
Really?
I had a lady reach out about a toe ring, but I'm still thinking on that. I don't.
Can you do that without burning them?
You can, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I've done one on one lady, and I said never again. But another lady reached out, and I was debating.
Right.
I don't like toes.
You got to get pretty
Ankles
close.
I could deal with, no toes.
You get pretty close. So
Yeah.
the fascinating thing about this to me is like this isn't something people can buy and you send it to them. You've got to physically be there.
You do, and that's one of the drawbacks for sure. Because people, I have a lot of people ask like, "Oh, can I just order something?" I'm like, well. You can't. You have to be in person to do it. But I do have gift cards, all the things like that, and virtual gift cards as well. But but yeah, that's one of the drawbacks for sure of it.
So you're really a first mover in this area because you've probably gotten a ton of people. You have gotten a ton of people.
I have, and so the furthest I have been was Gates County, which from Williamston is probably like an hour and a half. It's halfway to Busch Gardens,
Right.
And it's literally almost to the Virginia line.
Yeah.
Is where I went, and it was definitely worth my time, and I had the best time ever with those girls. But that's the furthest I've been. For
So
sure.
you're outside of your circle of friends with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. So, so I'm gonna play this for Peter when I get back in the studio and have him react. So, do you have guys ever do it?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Yes. So funny story. This girl and her boyfriend came in, and she was asking him, well, which one should I get? And I'm like, honey, you ain't got to ask him. Just pick what you want. But then I realized they actually got matching ones, which was precious.
Yeah.
I thought it was absolutely precious.
Right.
So since then, I have ordered more like manly chains, or chains that could go both ways.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of neat. And then my son Chase, he has a chain.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's so cute. He loves
Yeah.
it. He wanted to add something to it, and I was like,
Well, that's probably good for kids that want something like that because
Yes.
they're not losing it, they're not taking it on and off, and all that
and
kind of stuff.
It don't. And his is loose enough that obviously you can sleep in it and stuff.
Right.
But and he's old enough too. But no, it's really neat.
Now, some people thought it was tattoos when you first started talking about
absolutely
it.
not. I would literally fall out. Like,
Yeah. So like
I don't do
permanent.
blood.
Yeah. So like permanent, I guess makeup or something like that.
Yes.
But this is permanent jewelry. All right. So that was the thing that didn't sound right to me is
Yes.
having a permanent piece of jewelry.
And that is the most questions I get for sure.
Yeah. But I always like a good side hustle, and this one sounds like you were a first mover in your area.
Yeah, which I think.
And you heard it here.
successful.
Yeah, you heard it first on That Don't Sound Right. So if this becomes a thing in North Carolina,
Yes.
we were leading the way. All right, Peter's not here, but we're going to do the speed round. So here are your 4 questions for your speed round.
Okay.
All right, so the first one is, would you rather be a pharmacist or engineer?
Engineer.
Nobody,
I'm sorry.
Nobody, including me, has said pharmacist
Are you
yet.
serious?
Nobody.
Oh my God.
There's not been one person vote for a pharmacist.
That's hilarious.
All right, number 2 is, do you listen to That Don't Sound Right?
I actually just. Hold on.
lunch.
I didn't make it.
Lunch.
I'll get it in just a minute. We're recording something so you can't talk. Okay.
Lunch.
Go grab me something real quick. Go grab something.
I'll just ask that question again.
Okay.
You're right. All right, so question number 2 is, do you listen to That Don't Sound Right?
I'm going to. I don't right now, but I just found out about it.
You'll have to listen to this
Oh,
episode.
absolutely, yeah.
All right, so the third question is, do you think That Don't Sound Right is cool?
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. Usually people on the show do say that.
Well, no, I mean, I think it was because we were talking about it last night, and I was like, I love that. I love that
Yeah.
idea.
Well, you like a side hustle too.
I do. Yes.
And last question is, do you want to go with the band or the car? Which one would you rather?
Car.
Okay. What's your go-to car? Your favorite car? If you could get anything, practicality and money, or aside.
Honestly, I'd probably say a Bronco.
Bronco.
Like a
new,
jacked out, like just
tricked
awesome,
out Bronco.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Bronco. Yes.
Well, thank you for being on the show. This is Taylor. I'm going to surprise Peter with this and see what his reaction to permanent jewelry is. And we'll put your stuff up on the website too in case he wants to get in touch with you. Thanks.
Great. Thank you.
All right, we're back. What do you think, Peter?
What in the world did I just hear?
Permanent jewelry.
Permanent jewelry. You know, when she first started talking about it, I was thinking about maybe, and she started talking about chains. But when I first heard talking about permanent jewelry, I was thinking about like a ring that was put into your skin, like a permanent piercing.
Right, a permanent piercing.
Like a permanent. And
I guess you could do that.
I guess you could.
Yeah.
You could, I mean, you could put instead of you put this ring in, and then she just welds it closed, and it's there for
You may have got a whole new segment that we hadn't even thought about.
Well, maybe I've opened up a new business opportunity for her, because think about all the piercings that can just be permanent.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why. But I was somewhat relieved that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about chains that go around your neck.
Or
right?
wrist or ankle. Yeah.
But what was she talking about, toes or ring? What?
Well, she had a request for a toe ring made out of a chain.
Oh, out of the chain.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's permanent.
All right. Yeah, I remember you also sent me kind of a teaser picture of a jewelry welder.
Yeah, now this thing operates, I watched it work, it operates very similar to a real welder.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen videos, maybe reels or something, where people will use, and I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought it was just a really small welder, but it really was. It is a small welder, but do you know how hot it gets? Will it melt? Will it weld steel?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've got to go look all this stuff up now.
Because the melting temperature of silver is in like the mid-teens. Gold is in the high teens, but steel is in the mid-2000s.
Yeah, I doubt it would do steel.
Okay.
I bet. But it throws like a little arc.
Well, yeah.
Like you have to wear optic protection with it.
Yeah, I would think so.
And so she's got like a leather buffer that she places between your skin and the chain.
I would hope so.
And then she holds it together.
Did you watch one? Did she watch your weld one?
And she did one on, two of my daughters got them, and my wife.
What?
They all have permanent jewelry.
Y'all got...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who did it?
Christy, Camille, and Olivia.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I thought about doing it
I am
myself.
shocked. That don't sound right. I am shocked. I'm just surprised. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just...
Yeah.
I'm stunned. I'm stunned.
Yeah. So
I'm blown away. Christy got a. I'm blown away.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm blown away, but it just. What did she get? A necklace or an anklet?
I think she got a bracelet, a necklace.
Maybe a bracelet.
I forgot. No, it's a necklace. It's a bracelet.
What did Camille get?
Anklet.
Now, is there going to be any problem with her playing sports in an anklet?
I don't think so. And if you have to, you can clip these things off pretty easily. I mean, it's not like.
Yeah, I mean,
steel.
it's gold and silver. All you need is a pair of wire snips.
Or heavy scissors, and you can get it off.
Right.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to put it back on.
Well, I bet she could put it back on.
Well, yeah, she could re-weld it for you.
Yeah, that's going to cost you. But that's the side hustle. That's the beauty of the side hustle.
So
if I make a mistake with the podcast, no one's paying me to do it over again.
No. So the thing that fascinated me about I had not thought about people that had like arthritis or
that's
that
right.
I was like, well,
the question is why? Why would you do such a thing?
Well, because you don't have to take it on and put it on.
No, you're right. No, it makes sense. And now that she mentioned
that makes a lot of sense. And then we talked about it. There's obviously a trendy thing to this. People see it and think it's cool, and then other people want to do it, and other people want to do it. I think the interesting thing to me is that you have to be present for this. Like, you can't order it.
Oh, right.
She's got to be there with the welder.
Exactly.
And so a lot of it turns out to be like, parties where people come. Like if you have X number of people, she'll come. And then, I'm sure as as it starts, people are like, oh, well, I like that, so they get it done.
And and really, when you think about it, it isn't entirely permanent. It's easy. It's so much easier to undo than a tattoo.
Right, it's easier to. And
mean, it really.
I know people that wear the same piece of jewelry every day.
Right.
They never deviate from it, and so I could see someone like that.
And you almost got one
Thought about it.
on your foot,
No,
an anklet,
no.
on your big toe,
I know. I would have gotten a chain, man.
a chain,
Yeah, gold chain.
big gold chain.
Yeah, I've gotten a big gold. Like
I think you'd have to get a big gold chain. I wonder if she could do like a big silver
armband.
armband on your bicep. Now that would be strong. But you got to put you need a lot of leather there.
That's right. Well, you just weld in one spot.
So how did she get into? I don't think we got into the interview.
Well,
how did she get into this? How did she discover this?
Yeah, she heard a friend of hers told her about it, and then she started doing research about it, and it just kind of took off, word of mouth. But it's obviously big out west, like Texas and west.
Is that right?
So it's coming this way.
Where does she live?
She lives in
Where she does business?
in eastern North Carolina, like around Williamston, Greenville.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, that's not a very densely populated place,
No.
and she sounds like she's doing well at
She's
it.
doing very well with it. And but imagine like if you got it in Winston or Raleigh or
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, you'd have just the Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point area.
maybe we should do that. Maybe that's what we should do as a side hustle to support the
There's a
podcast.
lot of things that don't sound right, but we can weld.
You can weld.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
I've only spot welded.
Well, we could do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm always fascinated by a good side hustle, but this one really took a lot of upfront investment. Those little jewelry welders can be expensive.
How much?
So you're looking. I mean, depending on what you want to get, you're between $500 and $1,000.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, depending on what you buy.
Yeah.
Or more. I'm sure you can put even more into them.
I'm sure, but
But like for our side hustle,
you want to get a good one. You don't want. So you watched it. It doesn't really you don't really see sparks fly.
You see the arc.
You see the arc, but I'm saying you don't see sparks fly.
No, you don't see sparks fly.
But you would see like with a spot welder or.
Yeah. And you don't have like a was it MIG or TIG that you feed? No, a wire welder.
Yeah,
feeds wire in, right?
Well, I mean, a MIG welder feeds wire. A TIG welder, you feed a stick into the arc. This one probably is just the arc, right?
So there's two types of welding, right? There's one that fuses existing metal together, and then there's one that you melt metal into the gap. Is that right?
Well, like your spot welder is something that fuses two pieces together.
Right.
But most other welders, you need an arc, a heat source,
Right.
and you need the weld material.
Yeah.
Usually when you do something like a gas welder with a flame, that is something that you don't usually have feeder material. But everything else, you usually use a feeder material.
What's brazing then?
Brazing is you're using brass instead of steel. So you never get the base metal to a melting point. But your weld material is what melts, and it flows into the two really hot base metals and fuses it together that way. In fact, when I redid my Scout the first time, I brazed everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I brazed everything because
With brass?
yeah, yeah. So you didn't have to worry about. I didn't have to worry about. I didn't have a welder, but I had a acetylene torch that I could put it on the weld the heat mode.
Right.
I got the thing cherry red hot, and then you take your base. It's almost like soldering.
Really?
Right? You have your solder.
soldered,
It's
yeah.
just like soldering because
Really?
you never melt the wires, right? It's only the solder that melts.
Right. Yeah.
But I think what she's doing is, and I mean you've seen it.
Right.
You've seen it up close. I imagine it's a special. I imagine it's a special ring that she pushes together,
right.
And then she uses her welder just to superheat that area, and it melts together, and she's done. I imagine it doesn't. I mean, is it just? It's just a bzz, and it's done, right?
Yeah, it's
very
quick.
super quick.
It's super quick. But you do see the arc.
Oh, I'm sure you see the arc.
Yeah, you're right. There's a little ring that they're doing, so you're not feeding any metal into it. But
yeah.
okay. All right. Well, that's my topic, man.
Man, well, there's a couple things that don't sound right. The first thing is that this is gaining so much popularity. Like there's parties, people to get together instead of doing scrapbooking. They get chains permanently welded around their necks.
Right.
So that don't sound right. And I'm still blown away that Olivia and Camille and Christy got one. What's the next plans for her? What is she doing?
I don't know. I don't know how big it'll get. She has a studio. You can go to the studio and
oh, no kidding. So she has a space?
Yeah, she has a space for it.
So you can either go to her,
right,
or she'll come to you.
Yep.
I like the idea of going to the people. Because this is what you can do. You can show up with your shredding truck. And you can take up all their shredding. Right. And then you can give them their permanent chains.
Man, after we had the shredding episode, and I was thinking about that, I was helping clean out stuff at Mom's house, and I found a big bin of stuff that's got to be shredded.
It's got to be shredded.
Yeah, it's got to be shredded.
Hey, we still get the newspaper.
Oh, well, yeah.
And all you got to do is let me know.
Let you know.
Don't write the newspaper asking when the next shredding event is. They're getting sick of it. But I know when they are.
Well, it doesn't sound like it, but you have come to the end of That Don't Sound Right.
Hey, before we close, we want to thank everyone for listening. If this is your first time and enjoyed the conversation, would you consider hitting that subscribe button on the platform you'll listen with? And go ahead and tell 4 friends. Also, if you're a longtime listener, go ahead and tell 4 friends. We'll hit that 20,000 mark in no time. Also, leave us a review so people can easily find us and join the conversation.
All right, That Don't Sound Right is a production of TDSR Podcast in conjunction with Camel City Studios. I am your co-host and sound engineer, Cecil. Peter's your other host and does our web design. Camille's our barista. Emily does our graphic design. And we got some new designs that should be up for too long.
Well, where are you going to post that? Is that on going to be on the LinkedIn?
I need to go back and fix the banner on the Podbean site.
Oh, yeah.
And then also on LinkedIn, too. I use it on LinkedIn. Giorgio tests our merchandise. Ella does our Instagram. Brent is our international brand ambassador. And as always, listener number 1 is
Scott.
So until next week, keep talking.
And stay curious.